All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Coffee Q&A. I'm Jay, your host, and this is the OnoCoffee channel, and this is the Coffee Q&A, where we talk about coffee, questions, answers, and just general coffee talk, most Monday through Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today's April 1st, 2025. It's Tuesday. Beautiful Tuesday. It was pretty warm yesterday here in Baltimore, but now it's kind of chilly. We're a little bit down. Kent, how are you? Good to see you. So today we're going to be talking about espresso and having some cake along with the espresso. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Dan, good morning to you. Keone, aloha to you as well. Gosh, we got people from all over now. Such a wonderful thing. All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit about espresso. Remember last week, the week before that, we had roasted a new espresso using a new bean. There's a big Brazil component that gave a lot of like cocoa powder characteristics to the ristretto. So we're going to pull some more shots today and maybe make an Americano to go with our little treat and see how the coffee is performing, and maybe get into a little bit of, maybe techniques that you might be able to work with at home to make nice quality espresso. Maku, hello. It is a beautiful Tuesday. All right, so as you know, we've got the La Valentina E61 group head here. And we're going to get our portafilter, La Marzocco portafilter. So a little bit, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little O'Neill action here, right? We're going to take this and bring it over here. We're going to turn on our scale. We're going to weigh it out. We're going to zero it out because we're going to see just how much coffee we're putting in. Now, normally I'll get to, like you might notice that I don't usually weigh the coffee, right? I just kind of make it because I feel like, I usually have pretty good retention. So what we're looking for is we're going to do 21 grams of coffee for our dose. So let me just get this all together here. So we've got our grinder. There's of course a little bit of grind inside the collar. We're just going to grind it. And this time we're just going to pull it on because we're not changing the grind. So what we're looking to see is what kind of resistance we're going to have. So there's a little bit of coffee. And you can probably see that it is, there we go. It's the way that it falls is always going to be a little bit different. So it's lower here. So we just want to bring it back, sweep it around, right? Just come around like this. That's a pretty good amount. Maybe we're going to get rid of a little bit. All right, now let's go and, let's finish it. We're going to finish it off. Okay, now that's done. Now our target here is 21 grams. So let's come over here and have a look and see how well are we doing. A little bit more, 23.4, which is all right. We're going to go a little bit more. Paige says, good morning. Good morning to you, Paige. And Curie says that the current issue of Standard Magazine has an interesting article on Kopi Luwak. Oh, nice. Have you been able to try the coffee? You said they sent you a coffee yesterday with the issue. Have you been able to try that? Curious to know what you think. All right, let's see here. We've got so what we're doing is, we haven't changed the grind. We just pulled our first shot out of this. Really, this is about trying to see where the grinder is. I don't like to waste too much coffee on all this calibration ideas. So let's make sure that the water's running well. And we'll use this cup. And let's go for it. So we can definitely see that it took a little bit longer to come out. So that's a good sign that we did have a lot of coffee in there. 23.4 grams, it says. I am getting a little bit of flow over from the... Yeah, that's pretty tight. All right, let's have a look at this. Let's have a look and see. Not too bad. Oh, not yet tried it. Okay, great. So a little bit nice crema looking. Looks pretty nice. There's a couple of bubbles. You know, if we're serving it to guests, we always want to tap out our bubbles. I like to tap out the bubbles. I just think it's prettier when it's flat. So this is definitely more of a ristretto shot, so the volume is on the lower side. But nice looking crema. Like we got this reddish brown here, dark reddish brown here, and then a little bit lighter there. Very nice. No real distinctive blonding, I would say. So let's have a taste and see what happens. A little bit astringent. You can get some of that like cocoa powder, good sweetness. But I think the astringency is coming from the coffee that's been sitting there for the past week, or at least 4 or 5 days. That's just been sitting there. Like inside the burrs, there's partially ground coffee that's just sitting there. Nothing's happening to it. But nice mouthfeel, nice like powdery mouthfeel. So what we're going to do is we're going to make maybe some changes. We're going to put a little bit less coffee. We're not going to change the grind setting necessarily because I think it's got 23.4 grams of coffee. I think it's got good strong resistance to the flow. Maybe too much resistance. So I think if we can keep it down by 2 grams, it should lighten up and loosen the flow. That's my thinking. Peter says bula. I don't know what that means. But all right, let's have a look at our puck before we get rid of it. So good, overall good, nice, even, relatively dry, good compaction, right? There's nice, even impression of the screen. Come on. Ooh, it won't come out. There we go. And since we didn't see any blonding and we're kind of small, I'm going to say, Fijian for hello. Great. I was always thinking of that whole AT&T thing with it. I don't know, you might even now see it. Here in America, we had this AT&T commercial where I don't know if it's Micronesia or somewhere in the South Pacific, the guy gets on the phone, he's like, onomatopoeia. I don't know where that's from, actually. Okay, so we got a little bit of this residual oils, but since we didn't have any blonding and we had low volume, even though it's taking a long time, I'm going to say that we are, what do you call it? We are under extraction. This is a symbol of under extraction rather than over extraction, which we typically will see. Now our puck is in good shape, like it's got good resistance and comes out as a nice cookie. Okay, so let's go back and rinse out our portafilter. And whenever I rinse it out, I always want to put it back in the group head just to let it drip out, right? There's always going to be no matter how fast that you feel like you're doing the rinsing and you think that, I'm not going to have very much water flow past the screen. There's always going to be water flowing past the screen. And if you start to do all of this stuff, it just makes a mess and you have to clean it. So I just like to put it back in the group head, let it hang out for just a few moments. That way, any water that's caught up inside the portafilter gets to flow out. And you don't have to clean as much. And I'm really about not cleaning as much, right? I'm kind of lazy in that respect. So I'm going to grind some more coffee. Make sure our basket is dry. Okay, so there we go. That's a bit too much. We're going to get rid of that. That looks pretty good, right? But relatively even that time. So we're just going to mix it around a little bit. Do a little bit of tamping. Okay. Fairly decent looking. Okay, let's have a look here at our scaling. Oh, wow, that's even more. All right, we're going to see what happens. 23.9. Let's go back to the shot here. Crush one more time, good. Now let's go for it. still good resist. I mean, we're still getting, good extraction, nice and brown. All right, now we're getting a little bit of a wavering there, so we're going to stop. Now this is a little bit better in volume. So more bubbles, a little bit of that Milky Way aspect going on there in the middle. Tap it out nice. I think that looks, from my taste, this looks very nice. I think that looks like really nice espresso. So when the first one, we had a little bit sharpness in the beginning. That sharpness has subsided with the second one. Again, we're back with the cocoa powder. The general sweetness is a little bit muted. Actually, the body's a little bit less. But a very nice, like, cocoa powder character to it. Like, that coats the palate. It's kind of soft and pleasant. I really like that about this particular version. Okay. So now while we have gotten 23.4, 23.9, and I thought we were going less, but we ended up going more, I think the shots are actually quite enjoyable. And here's the thing. So, like, even though, like, I'm not putting a lot. Well, let's do one more. We're going to do one more. And this time we're really going to target doing this 21 grams just to compare with these larger ones. Kione says that's the song from Masese. It's Fijian, also talks about Ava. Fijians call Yongona. Oh. So Yongona is Ava in Fijian. I do like that. So we have a little bit of, maybe I would say this over extraction. Such a good song, that Siva. Yangona, Yangona, Yangona. Asarara. It's a good song. Asarara warara wakoyo. Oh, man. Such a good time. All right, so let's go back here. We're going to rinse out our portafilter again. Okay. I don't know, Karen. We should find a link to that. There must be a link to it. It's called what's the song? It's called Masese by, I can't remember the name of the band. But if you guys are interested in the song, it's a song called Masese. I think it's called He Ono. It's called He Ono, like you said. So He Ono, like is it onocoffee, right? So He Ono. And I don't remember who the band is. Karen, if you remember. Kapena. There we go. Kapena. Thank you. And if you go there and you look up on YouTube, I'm sure I'm sure they have a video. I think you'll find it to be a very fun and catchy tune. To get the earworm going. All right, now I'm going to go really, really hard on this 21 gram thing. Let's see if we get 21 out of this. But that's even more. It looks like there's less, but there's more. Okay, come back. Okay, that's close enough. 21.2. Wow, really? That's enough. Like, look at this thing. It's kind of flat. Like, I don't have to do anything with this. I'm going to try one more time. So I'm going to come back here now. We're just going to tap it out. Wow, that feels way low. Maybe this is when we need to increase the grind particulate size because I just feel like it's so small in here, just so low. Goodness. I'm still used to having a Lumberzocco where I can bump it around a lot more and not move. We're getting slightly better flow because of the 3 gram difference. Definitely better flow. Definitely faster flow. Okay, now that's pretty much done, right? That's pretty much done. And I'm stopping this time more on the fact that it looks like good volume rather than a flicker. But you can see here, there's a little bit of this blonding starting, which really tells us, let me go over here, which really tells us, this little blonding tells us that pretty much the shot is done, right? So whatever that was, whatever length of time that was, that's pretty much where I think that we should be at. Now let's have a look at the puck as well. Now this comparatively is soupier looking puck. Look at it, it's a little bit wetter, a little bit softer, right? There we go. We're just starting. We got a little bit of residual oils here, which is indication that we are just starting to get into our blonding phase, just a little bit of over extraction. Now this one's a bit wetter of a puck, so it's not as tight, it's not dry. So let's just get rid of that. This back over here. Rinse out the portafilter. Power Plant wants to know, does the song talk about civet abuse? I don't think Capena was totally obsessed with coffee. At least I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't. Pretty much, I'm singing the song, but I have no idea really what the lyrics mean. Which is like when I was young, like singing all these songs, you have no idea. So I don't like it. I don't like it. At 21 grams compared to our 23 gram doses, I don't like it as much. It's lighter, it's thinner. It doesn't have that cocoa powdery like softness. The sweetness is diminished. There's sweetness, but it's a little bit more on the citrusy side of sweetness, like a little bit more diminished. Everything's a little bit more diminished, a little bit thinner. Now, let's say that, okay, so our standard for the coffee is typically 21 grams, right? But let's say we like this performance, but we want to have this quantity. This is when I would think that we would probably need to go to see, part of me thinks that maybe we should go coarser so we can fill the basket more and perhaps build greater resistance through the greater compaction of larger particulates. But the other side of it is also we get better compaction by going finer. So there's a part of me that wants to go finer, which makes sense because if we're talking 23 grams, 23.4, 23.9, then those are fine. Those are the same grind, but more of them being compacted together. So even at 21, we probably want to go finer to get the result that we want. Peter says there's elephant poo coffee now. Oh, I didn't know that. What are we talking about there? Moral aspects. Oh, in the article from Standard. I got you. I'm falling behind. It does go into the moral aspects of it. They are cage and force-fed cherries. The cages are stacked on each other, so they are excreting on each other. Oh, it really is abuse and hegemony. Okay, Peter says they used to cut them in the wild where the cats only ate the best berries. Oh, yeah, but that's when it was super expensive. Kenny said years ago it was just wild collected, but with the increased interest, they started caging them outright. And the dev says that the song Masese has no actual meaning, but from what I understand, it's saying life sucks, but I'm going to get my matches and light up a cigarette and drink kava with friends. Oh, nice. Have you guys seen, you guys who are at home, on what is it? It's on King Street when you're going from Dillingham into Kalihi, right? have you ever seen that place? I think it's a Tongan joint. I'm pretty sure it's a Tongan joint where, and I would drive by them and see them, right? These older Tongan guys in their version, the nicer version of the malo, right? And they're like sitting there and drinking kava in this little hut. Like if you're driving towards Kalihi on King Street, it's on the left. Like I would just drive by, but like, what are those guys doing? Like maybe they'll let me join them. But and if you're not familiar with kava or ava in Hawaiian, so it's a root. It's a tree root. Devin Keeley will probably know more details than I can recall, but it's a root that you take and you mix it with water and you squeeze it out into a bowl and you share it. It's very popular throughout the South Pacific cultures, right? So usually you sit around with other friends and you take a coconut shell and you scoop it and drink. It's got a very like muddy taste. Well, it's a root, so you're basically squeezing a root. So it's got a very muddy, earthy taste to it. It's kind of, but it's got a really anesthetic character to it. So my tongue gets a little bit numb, and I think it's got a anesthetic effect. So you feel kind of numb. You feel kind of relaxed. I guess it's kind of like how Africans will eat shot, right? The berry and get that narcotic effect. But it's a nice way to hang out with friends. Okay, so let's make one more change. We're gonna make a change to the grind. We're gonna go here. We're gonna make it a little bit finer. Like we said, when we change our grinder setting, we're gonna go on this particular grinder. We're turning it to the right, and because we are now closing the distance between the burrs, and there's already some coffee between the two burrs, we have to turn the grinder on so that it ejects the coffee. Otherwise, you're really just trying to break down the coffee. You just it just makes it more difficult. So we have to turn the grinder, make the adjustments, and then evacuate everything. Right. So we're gonna do that. Like that. That's good. Thank you. And we are going to eject the coffee. Check all of that. Let's get rid of all of this. Okay, now let us try this. We're going to try this with 21 grams. We're going to measure the 21 grams this time. All right, so I got our. So that's probably too much. Let's weigh it out. There we go, 20. Oh, now that's even more. 24.2. We're going to get rid of some more. There we go, 21.1. Okay, so that's kind of the ideal. And it says 21.2, but we've got some coffee here on the wings that we should be getting rid of once we get our tamping done. Right, so there we go. Get rid of that. I feel like the grind, the start of the flow is slower, but maybe I did adjust it a little bit farther than I might have normally. But let's see. I think we got good flow. A little bit of blonding starting. Maybe. Oh, no, maybe not. I thought there was a little blonding there, but maybe not. But let's have a look closer over here. Small bubbles. Power Plant says Kopi Luwak is referred to on the newest season of Reacher. Oh, really? So I think got some new interest. Ken says no reason to buy Kopi Luwak these days with all the modern fermentation techniques available without the animal abuse. I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree with you on that. Because let's have it. Oh, Tucson Bubba's with us. Wow, man. Thank you very much for your coffee and cake. Thank you, Tucson. I appreciate that. That's very kind. That's very kind. Thank you. I will have to like that. How do I like that? Can I like that? I don't know. I'll give it the heart. There we go. There we go. Kent thinks you're right. Kent agrees with yeah, people always want rare stuff, and yeah, sadly. So let's have a look here. We're going to have a look. So oops, wrong one. There's our, looks pretty good. You know, this is a situation where I think we're not going in the right direction. The body's less, feels more astringent, not as cocoa powder is like has been diminished. Oh, that's not as pleasant. Not as pleasant. All right, so I've got something here to share with you. This is what we call pancit bihon, right? This is pancit with shrimp. Pancit is a type of a noodle dish from the Philippines that's very popular. If you're familiar with like Singapore-style noodles, this is evidently the vermicelli-style rice noodle is very similar. And I have some of this today because my mom was like, you need to have some of this. And she made it, and it's nice and still hot. So let's just have a taste here. Now, when it comes to pancit noodles from the Philippines, this is my favorite, right? I grew up eating this. And when I moved to Honolulu, you know, I was on my own. I had this thought, I want to make, one day I was saying, I want to make pancit, right? I want to make some for myself. And I thought to myself, maybe I should call my mom. I call mom and ask her what the recipe is. And I was like, no, you know what? I've watched her make this my entire life. I know how to make it, right? I just get the noodle, soak it in water, fry up some lapchong sausage, some chicken or whatever, slice some carrots and some vegetables, stir fry it all, you know, and then mix it all together, a little bit of soy sauce, done, right? Perfect. No problem. Easy. I did exactly that. And I ended up making a big batch because I didn't know what I was doing. And because I didn't know what I was doing, it was absolutely the most horrid and wretched pancit I've ever had. I couldn't even eat it. Like it was inedible. Ended up having to toss it at the end of the day. Finally, I had to relent to call my mom. Be like, Mom, how do you make this? She was like, oh, you have to do this. Like, you need chicken broth. And that which gives the flavor to the noodle. I go, oh, okay. A lot of things that I didn't know. So the idea, and why am I having this here? Because the idea is that you're supposed to so while April 1st is April Fool's Day here in the world, it is also my birthday today. And so the idea behind the noodles, right, is that you want to have a long noodle on your birthday to promote long life. Now, the noodle can be, you know, of course, we're Asian, so we use Asian noodle, but you can use like any kind of long noodle that you want. And as long as you eat long noodles on your birthday, the belief is that it's going to help give you long life. So, You also have to put fish sauce. That's very important. Fish sauce is incredibly important. Very good. Pipeline says sea rhino horn, fish swim bladder, swallow's nest, and shark fins. Oh yeah, all the rare stuff. Peter says I might start ingesting some coffee berries and stuff. That's what you should make your live stream about. Johnny says, oops, I'm missing. It's jumping here. Johnny says, we actually have an offer group here in Thailand. Mix every Friday. There are Tongans, Samoans, Fijians, and others interested. Oh, wow, really? Oh, I'm going to have to schedule a trip to Bangkok to go at least go over on a Friday. Power plants are actually okay. So I think Kim will probably explain that if that was before the time that I said something about it. Kent says a fellow Norwegian did that for a national radio show a couple of years ago. Oh, you mean ingesting the coffee? Oh, boy, that'd be great. That'd be great. Kiana says most people call it kava. It's a member of the pepper family. Drank as a tea-like drink. Just relaxes you. Doesn't make you drunk. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I like a tea-like. I don't know if it's a tea-like family. Okay, that's a great way to. It's a great way to describe it. Power Plant says also the shots have gone pear-shaped. Oh, I lost the shots. Oh, yes, they've gone. I think we did not have great results. It's not improving the way that I was hoping. Papa says, when I lived in China, we chew on something called betel nuts. It was pretty great stuff. Never got addicted, but almost. I think the betel nut is similar to the shot that they have in Africa. I've heard about these things. I've just never tried it. I've always been curious. It's like the ecstasy. I probably should have tried it. Kent says that Peter, I don't know, but he drank it. I was quite happy. Yes, do it for science. I like that. He was happy about it. Gary says pancit has some good pancit lunch wagon. Oh, man. I have to try that too. Oh, the guy's a comedian. Okay, I gotcha. Power says pancit needs MSG. We try to cut down. We're still part of the whole American MSG scare, so we try to cut down on that. But I agree. I think pancit is excellent. Thank you, Busa. I appreciate that. Thank you, Kirni. Thank you, Kent. Not to complain, and I don't mean this as a complaint, but I've over the years, I've been very blessed. I'm very lucky that I have a lot of friends around the world, really great friends, and the only problem that I have with having friends is like it comes up on today. Whereas I have a lot of friends on Facebook and they always send me messages, happy birthday, which I'm very, very honored to receive. And to me, it's very important to reply to everyone, right? If you send me a greeting, I want to reply to you personally, individually. Which means that I can't fall behind. It's actually quite stressful for me. Like I find it quite stressful every year because if I don't keep up with it throughout the day, like I will have an incredible amount of messages that I have to reply to, and I do feel compelled to like thank everyone for their greeting. And so it's like I find myself a little bit stressed on a day like today. Peter says that pancit canton is the instant noodle, and the instant noodle packet is good. Nice. Deb, thank you, Peter. It is April Fool's Day, and I gotta say that it's sadly that we have not. When I was a child, April Fools was very like a popular pranky thing to do. Today, I mean, as time went by, not so much. Whoa, Maku, man, that's crazy, man. That's very kind, man. Thank you very much. That's well more than I would have I even have thought of anything. But wow, man, thank you. That's very kind, man. Very kind. Tucson, man, thank you again, Tucson. All right, so now that we have this, so what we have to do also is what we're gonna do is so we've got a 21-gram shot with finer grind, but we're not getting the same flavor that we're getting from the 23-gram. So even though it could like result in incredible stagnation of our flow, what we're going to do this time is we're going to go deeper. We're going to take it. Well, let's look at this. How does it look? Still a bit soupy, right? That's what I don't like. It's still a bit soupy. Let's just get rid of that. Rinse it out. What we're going to do this time is we're going to go into it. I'm going to keep the same grind setting. Now, here's where the danger lies, right? Like we've only changed the grind setting, and we changed the grind setting, ground a little bit out, pulled a shot, and that's it. Now, sometimes it takes a couple shots for the grind really to settle in. By what my plan now is to increase the quantity to what I feel would be natural just by making it, which probably means we're going to be closer to 23, 24 grams. But it could be compounded by a problem where maybe with the last shot we did, it was still hadn't settled into its grind setting. And maybe if we did 21 again, it would be just right. But if we're going to push it to whatever feels natural and we end up with more, then we could be in a situation of it being too much coffee, too finely ground, too much resistance, and perhaps even a stall. But you know what? YOLO. We're just going to give it a try and see what happens, right? So let's go back here and have a look. Okay, we're going to clean out our portafilter, our basket. Make sure the basket's nice and clean. Okay, a little bit low here. It's going to come around. That doesn't look like much, does it? I'm going to tamp it. I'm losing coffee. Now let's weigh it. Oh, I was in the wrong one. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. Oh, what am I doing here? Oh, man. Well, I think it's 580 grams, 603 grams, so 580, 23 grams. So 23 grams of coffee. So we're pretty much where I think we might have been before. Now we're going to make this time an Americano. So I've got some hot water that's been sitting on here. Paige, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So we're just going to put a little bit of water in here, just to about there, right? This is a 6-ounce cup. This is actually one of my favorite drinks, is the 6-ounce Americano. What I'm also going to do, I'm going to remove the spout so they give us even though I could probably keep the spout on here and have plenty of clearance, I just want to remove it just to be sure. All right, let's go do it. Oh, slow. It may be stalling. Oh yeah, look at that. Look how slow that is. Now the idea with an Americano is we want it to float the crema right on top, right? Ideally, we will have a perfect coating of crema across the top. Now we're getting a little bit faster flow. I think we should stop now. I think it's a little bit loose. Yeah, look at that. It's a little bit loose. A little bit of black hole. The black hole is there. I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with that. Dev's asking, any thoughts on how the Americano was made? Water first or shot first? Power Plant says water first looks cooler, and I totally agree. Like, I think that it's important to have this. Like, this is not so pretty, right? This is not well done. This is actually very poorly done. If I was serving this at Spro, I would have rejected this. If I was serving this to you at Spro, I would have rejected this. Oops, there we go. Now I'm just all like mucking it up. I would have rejected this because the crema is not perfect, right? We want perfect crema across the top. But since it's just for me, it should be fine. It should be acceptable. But let's have a taste and see what happens. Yeah, could be better. It's light. I'm getting a little bit more of the cocoa powder. All right, so to complement our coffee and the pancit, my mom also made some cake. And that's what you saw in the this purple cake is actually what's called ube cake. But it's not ube with like, so ube is a tuber, right? A tuber that if you're in America, you may have seen more and more ube becoming popular as part of the culinary scene here in the United States. A lot of ube is made using food flavorings. This was made with flavor. So this is what's called the chiffon cake. So my mom makes these chiffon cakes very light, very fluffy, very like spongy, springy, not spongy, but springy. Light, delicate, very little, lighter on the sweetness. So very, very lovely with buttercream frosting. Like, this is the cake we actually had on Sunday when my whole family got together and she made this cake for Sunday. And so I just kind of kept a little bit. I'm not going to eat the whole thing. Well, not now, at least. and buttercream frosting. So just a nice little cake here left over from my nieces. Took the rest home, which is fine. This is what we want. Yeah, now that's a slice of, yeah, it is. It is a slice of cake, but we're not going to eat the whole cake. I did bring another plate so that it's not so crazy. I'm going to take I want to take the flour. I'm going to take the flour. It's kind of a big slice. We're not gonna muck around with this one. But put this over here. Now, one of the issues with this cake is that since it's a very fluffy cake, its structural integrity is a little bit wonky. Meaning, like if you look at this, right, it like wants to lean over and fall down. Like it will stand, but I am kind of tilting the plate slightly to hold that. But if I try to hold it more at a flat, look at that. It's like gonna fall. It's gonna. But it's a wonderful. So I thought that this could go really well with the coffee. Kira says, I think Americano shot first and black is, this is mine. Okay, let me tell you my pet peeve in coffee. And why I'm at such odds with Australian cafes. All these Australian cafes, they want to say the flat white or the flat black or the long black. Darn it. See it fall over. The long black is, I even did a video about this, where the long black, if you put the water first and the shot on top, it's a long black. I'm like, no. Americano is this way. Like, I will not get behind the whole idea of calling Gulf of Mexico Gulf of America, but I will get behind the idea that we're calling water first and then espresso last, so you have a floating cap, is an Americano. I will die on that hill. But in other words, if you come to Spro, that's exactly how we're going to make it. And if you came to Spro and you're like, I would like a long black, you're going to get the same thing, the same way. Because we only have a standard of making it in one way. We're not going to change. We're not going to do it the other way. Because you know what? I don't think, like this, why, like now, look at this thing. This is finished, right? It's all, the creme has dissipated. So if I had put the shot first and then added the water, it would look like this. And what special thing is that? Like, that's just black coffee. It looks nice. Why not just get it out of the FETCO, right? So what we want is to have, like if you came to Spro, the idea is that if you ordered an Americano or a long black, which we might kick you out. No, we don't kick you. We don't kick anyone out. But, we would make it that way and we would serve it to you. And we're not going to argue about that kind of thing. Like if you come to us, we're not arguing about any of that stuff. Only here are we arguing about it. Busa says that tried ube rice pudding Saturday was great. Oh, awesome. Do you remember where you got it? One of the sad things about this ube revolution or emergence in American cuisine, evidently there's more and more ube being sold. Ube is something, but nobody's using ube to make it because ube production in the Philippines is plummeting because nobody's buying it. So it's a really sad irony that most people don't. Most people are just using flavoring. And I get it. As a tuber, how do you use this tuber and make it like flavor your food? It's a little bit difficult. I get it. The Leaning Tower cake, it is. And Peter says, Korea sells more iced Americanos. Oh, nice. I didn't realize that. And that I need a bigger slice so it doesn't leak. You're right. I should totally just be using this one. But, the drugs only do so much to stave off, increased waistline. So, all right, let's have a taste. So nice. To be honest, not as moist as it was on Sunday. It has been 2 days, but still very moist. Dev says, I believe it's because the long black is 6 ounce. The Americano is, I think, see, when I started in coffee and I learned how to make this is what we call an Americano. We also call this Americano, right? Americano to me is more of a stylistic thing rather than necessarily a size thing. I refuse to call it, honestly. It's a nationalistic thing. I'm an American. I refuse to call any of this long black. I just refuse. It's where I will be. It's where I will be stubborn. Paul Bissett, the first world barista champion, and I used to have like arguments about American versus Australian cafes and concepts surrounding espresso. So I refuse to give in. I refuse. Peter says that a long black and an Americano is the same thing, like calling a taxi. I agree. It really is the same thing. Like at Spro, we never differentiate. If you came in and you were like, can I get a long black? We'll give you an Americano. We're going to serve you. And we're not going to do the whole thing like can I get a long black? You mean an Americano? No, we're not going to do that. That's just pedantic and just stupid. Like I would never do that. Like, our whole thing is not to make you feel like you're belittled or you don't know anything about coffee, right? Chances are, if you're a guest to Spro and you're new to coffee, you don't know anything about coffee. So therefore, that's what we expect. So we're going to make sure that you get what you want. We may ask questions about to clarify, to make sure that we're going to serve you what you have in your mind, right? Like, for example, somebody comes in, can I get a macchiato? I'll be like, oh, are you thinking about a large macchiato or a small? And then typically when you do that, the person will be like, oh, what are the bigger ones? Oh, with that's sweet, right? Yes. Oh, yes. And then you know that it's more of the vanilla latte with caramel sauce on top rather than the true like little teeny tiny macchiato. But the way you do it also, that way you give respect to the people so they don't feel like they're dumb, right? Like, or they don't feel like you're thinking that they're dumb, right? Don't really want people you don't want people to think, you don't want people to know that you think they're dumb. You just want them to know that, hey, we're here to help you. Now, where the difference may come in between the two is like if you come in and say, I'd like a cappuccino. Okay. Or this versus the guest who comes in, can I get a flat white? There is a little bit of difference there. So we will probably we'll make it like a cappuccino, but we'll make it with less stretching of the milk in order to get a less amount of foam, that really thinner level of foam. But for the most part, it will be a 6-ounce drink, right? If you ask for a flat white. So nice. Peter says, yes, it has been. And maybe the idea between Americano and long black being the size difference is just that, and I'm going to say this without ever having been to Australia, but I'm going to presume that in Australia, if you say you want a long black, it's going to be that 6-ounce drink. Like that's all they're going to offer you. Maybe an 8-ounce if they have the cups that match it. But in my experience with visiting other countries, typically the 12 to 16, especially the 16-ounce and 20-ounce, just don't really exist in most countries. So I'm presuming that that's where a big division will come. Like Americans want, can I get a large Americano, 20-ounce? Like 20 ounces, good Lord, dude. But I only want 2 shots. So really? You only want 2 shots? Can you even taste the coffee at that point? Busha says a place called Rice Culture in Tyson's Mall. Oh, it was a place called Rice Culture in Tyson's Mall, but they have a couple of the locations in Northern Virginia. Oh, nice. All right. I'll have to keep that in mind. There's so many places to eat. If you guys ever come to Northern Virginia, a lot of places to eat. Like every time I hear about it, it's like, one cannot eat enough meals in a day to eat at the places that I'm interested in. Power Plant says, yeah, those are called tells, like a 12-ounce cortado. Oh, yeah, exactly. Rusty, man, how's it going? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. How are you? So, good. So this, honestly, it could be better. Could be a lot better. Should be a lot better. But that's coffee number 5. So maybe that's enough coffee for the day. But I do like the larger format of the Americano because you could have more drinking. And it's one of my favorite drinks because I would sit, when I was learning coffee in Seattle at Heinz Public Market Coffee, the East Lake neighborhood, long gone now, but actually it's been gone for 20 years. It closed in late 2005. But I would go there, my mentor shop, and I would learn about coffee, hang out with them, stay with them for like a week. And in the mornings, I would get up because I would stay. They had an apartment behind the shop, so I would stay there. And get up in the morning, 6 o'clock, 6:30, go into the shop. Before like people really started coming in, I'd sit there. And the nice thing about it, it had a eastern-facing window, so the sunlight, the sunrise light would be coming in the morning. And I would sit at the table with this exact coffee, 6-ounce Americano with a lot of cream, with a lot of crema. Just sit there and contemplate getting ready for the day. It's always been one of my favorite versions of espresso drinks. So I have a nostalgia for it. Powerplant says, having just water and espresso can express flavors better than just espresso. Well, I totally agree. Like with whiskey, I totally agree with you on that. Although I had never thought of it in that way. Until right now. All right. Well, my coffee is running low. And I gotta go do a bunch of stuff. The repair guys from the garage door company came yesterday because the garage door was getting all like messed up and wonky, so they had to repair it. They were like, "We need you to clear out the space around the tracks and around the door, so our guy can work." And I was like, "If you saw my garage, it was pretty bad." Like, so I took everything out, and now I'm on like a mission to like. I'm going to get rid of a lot of stuff and make space. So I'm going to do that today. Power Plant's asking, can you bring out the Pegasus tomorrow? Okay, actually, now that you're saying that, I will. I may have to go and do a road show. I thought we were going to do a road show today, but that was not to be the case because I was going to go up to Harrisburg. But I didn't hear back from the person yet, so I'll probably go later today. Tomorrow, I've got to go to, where am I going tomorrow? I've got to pick up something else tomorrow. We may end up, depending what time that happens, we may end up doing a road show. If not, we will do this tomorrow, or we will do this on, what is tomorrow? Thursday, by Thursday. But here it is. I'll put the Pegasus right here so that it will be ready, and I will remember that we want to do Pegasus. Is there anything you want to know in particular that we should be trying with the Pegasus? This is the 03 Pegasus, right, for 4 to 7 cups. I think I got this one when I was in Japan. Is that right? Oh, no, maybe this is the one that Keone sent me. Unfortunately, I can't remember anymore. Ken, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. So, yes, I'm going to hit it. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate all the greetings and the very kind gifts. That's very, very kind for both of you. I really, really appreciate that. But back again tomorrow with more of the Coffee Q&A. So, hope you have a wonderful day out there, and see you next time.